Hello and welcome to another bite-sized battle rep. This time we'll be taking Tyranids versus Drukhari. Drukhari Quins, my bad. In the new Christmas detachments. Very exciting. We will be playing on the UKTC terrain. We'll be using the missions Purge the Foe, Smoke and Mirrors, and on Crucible of Battle.
Right, so today I am taking the new Christmas detachment for Drukhari, which is the Reaper's Wager. Now this allows me to take up to 1,000 points of Harlequins, which I am extremely excited about. So, first off, we start with 3 units of 12 troop, each being led by a character. So we have 2 troop masters, one with an enhancement each. So first one is the Infiltrate one, which I can't remember the name of them now.
Don't worry about the name.
Don't worry about the names. So Infiltrate and Stealth, which is very nice for a 12 brick troop. Then we have Deep Strike on the other one. I think it's probably better placed on some Drukhari characters, but Harlequins just get me going. We have a Shadow Seer, which will be leading another 12-man troop, which gives stealth and built-in advance and charge, which is lovely. And then rounding out the Harlequins is a Solitaire. Naughty little Solitaire. It's going to die immediately, even with its 3-up invul. Next up, we have a Court of the Archon, which I've already set them out split here. So this is my Warlord one, so he'll have the Vect ability, and he also has the enhancement to scout his rate at 9 inches. It's great. So attached with Court and all the special weapons for the Cabalites. Next up, the same thing with the other Archon, splitting from the Venoms for the 5 with all the special weapons in. We have 2 Raiders to transport those around, and finishing out the list, 2 Beast Pack Masters, just for that speed and pressure early game.
All right, and I'll be taking Tyranid Bioform Onslaught, the Warrior Detachment, or as I like to call it, the Gargoyle Detachment. Everyone gets a 5-up invul. Let's go. What's more obnoxious than a gargoyle? Gargoyles with 5-up invuls. Because they'll be led by Tyranid Primes. One of the Primes actually will have a the -1 to hit enhancement. So that gargoyle unit will have a 5-up invul, -1 to hit. Potentially even -1 to wound with that weird strat. We then move into where the other Prime is. So the third Prime will be leading 6 melee warriors. My counter-attack unit to kind of do some damage if Ben gets a bit cheeky. We've then got a Pyrovore. I've got a Pyrovore because we have 2 Maliceptors, and I don't like people getting cover against Maliceptors. So I've seen that at an event in, I think, Scandinavia, we saw some Maliceptors do really well in this detachment because you can +2 to their strength to get strength 12. However, against Ben's list, I don't think it's going to matter. We've got 2 Lictors here for actions. We've got a Biovore because I'm a Tyranid player. And then over here, we've got 2 units of 3 warriors. Now, I am proxying here because I don't want to rip the arms off these. They are ranged warriors, these 2 3-mans. So they're just going to be removing cover, doing shenanigans. We've got a Tyrannofex with a Rupture Cannon to blow things up. 2 Exocrines because, of course, you have Exocrines. Finally, all led by a Winged Hive Tyrant to give -1 attack to those troublesome elves and give me some free strats. And that's it. And I should have said we're playing against Ben today. Friend of the show, Ben from Trash Wargaming. Ben, how are you excited about this game today?
Very excited. I get to play Harlequins with meaningful rules. Come on. Yeah, no, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing to try this detachment out and see what your detachments do.
Amazing. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right, we've finished deploying. Just want to give you a quick idea of what we've done here. So this is the Tyranid Force. You've got 20 Gargoyles and a Prime at the front. This is the Prime with the -1 to hit, so we're ready to get out there and move block some of these horrendous beast packs after they've scouted. We then move over to Maliceptor. We've got some shooting platforms here ready to go, so they can move into this middle bit and bear down on the middle objective. Moving over to this side, we have another 20 Gargoyles ready to replace the first one. As you might know if you watched my battle reports before, I like to layer my move blocks. We've got the Warrior Squad here. Now, they're a melee Warrior Squad. They're led by a Prime. The Prime does have advance and charge. I forgot to mention that earlier, but yes, that is there. So they're my counter punch. We then have a Rupture Fex who's not scared of no Drukhari, so he's going to be sitting at the table and just being annoying. 3 Shooting Warriors there. an exocrine here because I know there's a really good angle down here when I get down there, which is really nice. And then lictors. We've got one lictor here, ready to go and do containment or get on that objective if he needs it. We've got another one behind this box here, ready to heroic in case this Maliceptor gets charged. That's my deployment.
Okay then, so on to my deployment. So as you can see, I've gone fairly aggressive here. So my infiltrating troop sat on my natural expansion, ready to keep that locked down nice and early, and potentially push on and get some early charges going. I've got both beast packs on the line, so they can either scout to safety or go forward and make some charges. Also the raider, ready to scout early, get onto that objective, lock that down with some sticky from inside the transport, which is the Cabalite special rule. Otherwise, cheeky little bit of screening. This list lacks the units to really sit and screen all that well. But there we go. That is me ready to go.
Okay, we're ready to go. But before we start first turn, just to let you know, I've got 3 warriors and a Pyrovoy in reserve. Ben, what do you have?
I have a Cabalite with 5, a Venom with 5 Cabalites in Deep Strike, and I have 12 Troop Brick in Deep Strike as well.
Very nice. All right, let's see who goes first. Big 1 versus a big 4. Looks like Ben's going first.
Okay, so onto my movement phase. I've drawn Cleanse and Overwhelming Force turn 1. Going first, I have decided to send it. Absolutely send it. So both beast packs have gone up. The infiltrating troop has gone up, ready to tango with that Maliceptor, hopefully. I've moved my scouting raider onto my natural expansion, which will probably cleanse. I've decided only to do 1 cleanse, and I'm probably not going to get overwhelming force this turn 1, so it might be a low scoring turn, but I'm kind of hoping it's a gumming up turn. So both my home objective and my natural expansion have been stickied because of Cabalites in boats, and that is my movement phase. Okay then, so we get to the end of my turn, and it has gone wrong. As you can see, 1 troop brick and a Beastmaster did not make it to combat, both having re-rolled charges. Troop brick needed basically a 4-inch charge, rolled a 3, re-rolled into Snake Eyes. It's gone a bit wrong. 1 beast pack did connect and has cleared off most of a unit of gargoyles, but they're -1 to hit. They're actually quite resilient with a 5-up invul. Otherwise, we've had the 1 raider over there do cleanse. I've not got a second cleanse going off, and I'm going to get rid of overwhelming force. But currently, I don't get a kill point for turn 1. And that ends my turn.
All right, so start of my turn 1. We have engaged in all fronts to recover assets. Because Ben had a rubbish turn, we're just going to say no. And we get instead no prisoners. Oh, that's kind of nice. That's kind of tasty. All right, so this is the end of my movement phase turn 1, or the Tyranid movement phase turn 1 rather. And we have done some stuff. So we've moved them both Maliceptors up, trying to bait out Ben's reactive move, which he did take. He kindly reminded me, by the way, Ben always wins best sporting awards, and there is a reason for that. So these guys have moved over there. I've moved the Hive Tyrant up. Now the Hive Tyrant will probably eat absolute rubbish from them. But it's nice to have the option. We'll see what happens. Is he that important in this game? I'm not sure. So I feel like I can push him forward a bit and see what happens. We've got a lot of like heroics and stuff available. We've moved up the second squad of gargoyles. The first squad, after being battered and bruised by this horrible, mean beast pack, have then ran away to be my late game scoring pieces. We then have some warriors who have gone up and ready to get into those guys. To do some damage there. And then the T-Fex has moved here with the aim of taking my natural expansion objective. And the T-Fex is just, sorry, the Exocrine's got an angle there. So that's the end of my turn. A bit of a mixed bag, actually, because for my secondaries, didn't do amazing, but at least I scored them. So what we've got, we went into these troops, we shot them, and then we got into them. We did think about charging the Hive Tyrant in. I kind of wish I did now, because it might have killed the unit. But the Maliceptor went in and gummed them up, so they can't lance me and can't do all these shenanigans. So that's all right. Not bad overall. Quite happy with that. The Warriors made short work of the beast pack here, so I have got some points for the old no prisoners. Before moving up here, I've secured my natural expansion objective after bodying quite a substantial part of that beast pack unit. All right. So that's my turn. I get 2 points on both my secondaries, and I get the fabled kill more. So got a little bit of a lead. Let's see if Ben can catch up next turn.
Okay, so onto my turn 2 movement phase. I get my hold one with my sticky objectives. I've pulled assassinate and recover assets. I'm quite CP intensive for this army, so I don't really want to flip assets just yet. So I'm going to hold on to it. So I've moved out the solitaire just into no man's land to start to attempt to recover assets. Being alone op, I feel he's fairly safe. Plus I have a reactive move option, so I'll fail it then anyway. Ignore me. And then the venom back here will do assets as well. With assassinate, I've brought out both courts of the Archon. We're going to try and get rid of that Mal Scepter, pesky thing. We've fallen back the troop from there, who have both passed their battle shock. And we're going to look to line up a charge into that Hive Tyrant, and hopefully, with the aid of some lethal hits, finish him off. And then the other court potentially looking at a charge into these warriors. Again, get those out of the way. Let's see how we go. Okay then, so end of my turn 2. It's not gone as well as we would like, boys. I can't lie to you. So we did kill off the Mal Scepter in shooting. We plinked off that little spore mine over there, so we got 2 kill points on that. We got into the charge. We made all our charges. It was great. However, the Hive Tyrant -1 attack to this court of the Archon, meaning I didn't really have enough attacks then to chew through all these warriors. I did roll a lot of 6s for my sustained, which was wonderful, but not quite enough to get through. And the 5-up invul just kept them sticking around. And then the Hive Tyrant interrupted for what was essentially 3 CP, because Vex is just sitting right there. And we didn't quite manage to finish him off either. So that's assassinate not scored. That puts him down to 5 wounds, and we're sitting there with a pretty poorly wounded court and his Archon. So I've started my recover assets. Assassinate, unfortunately, has not been scored. And I think I'm probably going to have to get rid of that now for some extra CP. But otherwise, it's over to Tyranids' turn 2 now.
All right, that is my movement turn 2. We've got Sabotage and Air Denial as my secondaries. We did get Kill the Horde, but Ben does not give that up. So here's my predicament. We've brought in the Mal Scepter here to kind of guard these warriors. If they were to get charged, get the -1 to hit. But the warriors are then going to be able to shoot these guys in the middle and trying to help me get rid of that, the guys in the middle for Air Denial. We also have some shooting aimed at these guys here because we would like to clear this out and not be there anymore. So we've fallen back with the Hive Tyrant and we've fallen back with the warriors. Gargoyle shooting might actually do something here. We've then also got some, move these guys warriors over here. We've got Elictors coming and he's sabotaging there for the points. We've got an Exocrine here moving over so we can get these angles, these lovely tasty angles down road here. And there we go, Pyrovore's coming as well. Cool, so that is the end of my turn 2. We had a really good one here. My 9-inch charges here, one came off, which was great. So I've now stolen that objective from Ben with not a very expensive resource, 65 points warriors. So that's pretty happy with that. In the middle, the Lictor managed to kill the unsuspecting Archon and got a CP for it for eating a character's brains, which is nice. We did put some hits into this Archon to try and get rid of the Invuln, but the Gargoyles couldn't quite do it. What else happened? We killed the guys in the middle for Ares and Al, but unfortunately I mismeasured and we couldn't get a Spore Mine there. So we don't score that. So we are gonna either keep it or get rid of it. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. Can't get a CP because I've just gained one from the Lictor. Over there we had some good shooting. The Pyrovore managed to body quite a few of these guys. I think it was 5 in total that killed.
Yeah. So
pretty scary stuff there. It's still in the mix. It could go either way. But I think I've probably got a little bit of an advantage now going into turn 3.
Cool. Okay, so end of my movement phase for turn 3. These lovely Harlequin troop that were hanging around just there, they spend a command point and go, "No, Mr. Pyrovore, you shall not shoot me when I move." No! Interestingly, it does last until the end of the turn as well. So come the charge phase, if he's still alive, I hope he's not, they still can't be overwatched, which is wonderful. So I had Air Denial extend battle lines. So this Archon fallen back out of combat with those gargoyles to go sit within 3 of the centre. Solitaire has used his blitz once per game. He's going to go look to mulch up some gargoyles, hopefully. The other troop that was hanging around at the back there, they've used their advance and charge built in, and they're going to go look at taking back that objective from these OC3 warriors. We did use advance and charge on these Harlequins troop here, just so I can look at, again, potentially just coming and jamming up this objective a little bit and shutting down the Tyrannofex slightly, I hope. And that is about the gist of my turn. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so we've had a slightly better scoring turn this time. There's Hero Archon in the middle, just ran straight there, and scores me both of my secondaries, which is a good start. The big troop brick that advanced from there shot all of the warriors off the objective, and then made a big charge to get the other unit, with the Malceptor heroic intervening, now tied up in combat. I have lost half the unit for that though, so we'll see where that goes. Then over here, we failed to kill the Pyrovore in shooting, which was hilarious. But we did kill it in combat, and then we've consolidated into the Exocrine, just to tie him up a little bit, stop him moving any further forward. Denying him the primary doesn't necessarily matter all that much, so it just gives him a -1 to hit. And otherwise, that is that. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah.
The big story of the day. Solitaire comes in, cleaves 8 gargoyles, consolidates into the warrior, fails all his saves straight away and dies instantly, as a good Solitaire should. Boo! And we did finally switch the wager from the Harlequins to the Drukhari, which there's not a lot of Drukhari left to benefit from said wager at this point now. But we're still in the game. There's still time. Here we go.
All right, so we got some pretty tasty secondaries, I won't lie. I'm quite happy with these. We got Containment, and we got Extend Battle Lines. So, dead easy for me. I've got my 2 lictors in perfect positions to do that. And Extend Battle Lines, I think I have to push through the middle to take it, rather than go after Ben's safe objective. So let's zoom out. What have we done? We have looked at the middle where that lovely Archon is and said, right, we're going to make you take some saves until you fail that 2-up. We've then also fallen back with the warriors, because the ranged warrior's ability is fall back and charge and shoot. Very cool. The Maliceptor standing there, he's just going to keep like swiping away. Wingtide Giant's going to make them -1 to hit to keep them even more obnoxiously in combat with the Maliceptor. Over there, we have our Warrior Blob regained the model and has moved up the board to try and really push the poo in and try and get his home objective, and then just secure primary for the rest of the game. Over in the far side, the Exocrine has moved up, and the T-Fex is just staying where he is because he's still got heavy, so he gets a decent enough shot into some Venoms and stuff like that. But the Exocrine being on the objective now means I've got 9 OC on there. Cool. All right, end of my turn 3. I think the plans... I've been very lucky this game because the plans I've put in place worked, and then Ben just decides to roll 1s every time he has a plan. It was a really good turn for me. We battered a few more of these Harlequins off. Here, the Warriors fell back and charged, but then they took a bit of hitting back as Ben used his fight on death stratagem to do a few wounds to them. We lined up a lot of shooting at this Archon, but he failed his second save from an Exocrine, so he was toast. And that was that. We then also managed to get the boat and then stand on Ben's home objective. So I believe we have that. I'll have to double check actually if that OC buff applies to primes or is it just warriors. I'm pretty sure it's both. And then moving across here, the stalemate continues, but the Tyrannofex stomped on a few, so I think they might be disappearing next turn. Let's see how we get on. We've got our secondaries. We've got the Lictors doing containment, so that'll be 6 points, and then Extend Battle Lines. We've now got the middle, so we score that as well. All right, let's see how Ben's turn 4 goes.
Okay, so My turn 4, we have drawn, well, we drew Bring It Behind Enemy Lines and Defend Stronghold, which was a bit of a tricky position. I don't think there's much I can get into Davey's deployment zone anymore. And my home objective has some warriors naughtily sitting on it. So I've moved around to deal with those. So I've got some venoms lined up and some splinter rifles and potentially a grenade stratagem that I can just throw into these warriors and take that back from him. I flipped behind enemy lines to bring it down. So that raider is quite happily just sitting looking at that hive tyrant with 5 wounds left, and we'll try with one dart lance get lucky and finish him off. Those Harlequin troop have fallen back and just blocked a bit of a move path for those monsters to try and somewhat defend my objective ever so slightly, although I feel it may be a little bit in vain over there. And there's nothing I can do to stop him getting hold more, so hold more is a guarantee for Davey next turn. So the awful luck continues. We put the dart lance into the hive tyrant. He failed it, and then 3 CP re-rolled it, and he lives. Boo, no, bring it down. We put the splinter rifles over there into that warrior on 1 wound, and he just saved them all like an absolute hero. We did, however, get rid of the prime and his warriors off of this objective. So I can take mine back, and now I have to try and hold it for Defend Stronghold. The ongoing combat and fighting over here happens, and we have flipped the wager back to the Harlequins. So we did get some rerolls over here. So we got some lucky melter shots through on the T-Fex, and then we hit him for another 3 dev wounds in combat. So it keeps going. I did lose 1 in this war of attrition, though. So I don't score, bring it down. So I'll get rid of that. And Stronghold is ongoing and will complete, hopefully, at the end of Davey's turn.
Right, my turn 4. We've got Bring It Down and Marked for Death. Unfortunately for Ben, he doesn't have that many units left. So we've kind of just chosen some arbitrary units here. So I'll definitely be getting this, luckily. So moving around, you can see that we've moved up here. The Maliceptor is going to charge these guys to try and then consolidate onto the objective if the space. I need to make sure, I need to look at the distance on that, but hopefully. Same with the warrior, he's going to give it a go. We've got to bring it down, so we're going to try and shoot this 1 wound raider and see if that works. We've got the hive tyrants moved into the middle because he feels fairly safe at the moment. See if that stays true. And then over there, we just moved the lictor forward for a somewhat prospective charge there. The gargoyles and the warriors have moved into Ben's objective as he predicted. And we're just going to try and just be a nuisance over there, keep him occupied. All right, so the raider, we killed the raider, so we got the mark for death for 5, which has also got our bring it down, which is quite good. We charged in here, but we couldn't quite get onto the objective, so that's that for the time being. It's not sticky, so we should be okay. And then yeah, that's about it really. The fight continues over here. No damage was dealt. Let's see what, yeah, no damage was dealt. So let's see what happens in Ben's next turn. Okay guys, we've decided to wrap it up there for turn 5 so we can get on with our next battle report that we're going to record you. And why don't you watch that? That's going to be CSM, Creations of Bile, versus a different Drukhari list. So very exciting. With birds, it's going to have planes against Bile. That's not fair, is it? So this game though will end 93-49 to the Tyranids.
Cool. So it's a great detachment. It's a lot of fun. The weird flipping mechanic just does not come up often enough. Particularly if you lose more of one army than you do the other. For a lot of this game, the Harlequins just didn't benefit, which is real sad. Sad for the Harlequins. There's a lot of tools here. There's a lot of tools. I think the list needs slight rejigging. But I'm quite liking the list. I like how it plays. And if I can just roll 4-inch charges, we'll be in a much happier place.
Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, so this detachment did really well this time. Some of you might have seen the game I played against Tom, where I literally got bent over. This one was a bit of a different kettle of fish. I decided to have less warriors and really lean a bit more into Tyranids' core strengths, which are exocrines and the Maliceptors, having seen it do so well at a tournament. Maliceptors were probably the MVPs. The -1 to hit was huge for this in this game. The warriors themselves did a bit, get quite fast getting across the board. The advance and charge on the prime wasn't as bad as I first thought it was going to be. I did think it was rubbish, but actually it came in handy 1 turn, which is good. The gargoyles were also fantastic. As I say, I do think this really loves gargoyles, and yeah, I'm keen to keep trying it with those. But overall, is it a detachment I'll probably play more often? Well, the fact that I haven't ripped the arms off my Tyranid warriors to give them range warriors will tell you that. As it happens, the range warriors did okay in this game. They did better than I think they have any right to do in combat, and the shooting was really good into elves. Is it going to be an elf meta? I probably doubt it. So overall, yeah, probably not on the top of my list moving forward, but I'm keen to see it if the meta changes a bit.